is Chang Her, and I will be doing a textual analysis on the song Bare Necessities. So, a little bit of background information about The Jungle Book is that The Jungle Book is a 1967 Disney film, which was based on the original Jungle Book written by Rudyard Kipling. You see, while I won't be talking much about The Jungle Book itself, what actually leads to this song goes that after escaping from the Bengal tiger Shere Khan, Mowgli and his Black Panther friend Bagheera meets a sloth bear named Baloo. And while Mowgli is questioning where his place truly is in life, Baloo advises Mowgli to only stick to the bare necessities of life, not to think too much about it. Because sooner or later, the bare necessities will come to him and he will find his place in life. So a little bit of background information about the singer, Phil Harris. The song was written by Terry Gilkinson, and the singers were Baloo, voiced by Phil Harris, and Mowgli, voiced by Bruce Redderman. You see, I will only talk about Phil Harris because he sang the majority of this song, while Bruce Redderman, playing Mowgli, only repeated what Phil Harris said in the song. Phil Harris provided the voice of Baloo in The Jungle Book, Thomas O'Malley in The Aristocrats, Little John in Robin Hood, and Pato in Rockadoodle. He was famous for his voice acting and singing, in which he sang Bare Necessities, Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, and The Phony King of England. So stanza 1. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes. That brings the bare necessities of life. You see, what I interpreted was that you should only strive to obtain the necessary things in your life. For example, as you see, Baloo only needs a cave and the food around him to survive, which are his bare necessities. And we as humans only need food, shelter, and clothes to survive, which are our bare necessities and the necessary things we need to survive. So, all those luxurious and expensive items, such as jewelry and extra clothes, is not necessary for our survival. Another way of looking at it is that you don't really necessarily need 10 pairs of shoes to survive because it is a waste of money and it is a waste of your hard work. You should at least first pay your house bills and find food for yourself first, and then continue on to get your jewelries and expensive items. And then the phrase "forget about your worries and your strive," I interpreted was that sometimes in life it is just better to stop doubting yourself and let things go. You see, in life, we as humans worry too much sometimes about the future. So it is better to just let things be the way it is and go with the flow. You don't know what's coming in the future, so stop worrying about it and face it when it does come. You see, Old Mother Nature's recipes also refers to the Earth's natural course. And since we are living on the Earth, we also have our natural course in life. So we should just go with the flow and face our fears and conflicts whenever it comes to us. Because it is all part of fate, is what I'm trying to say. Stanza 2. Whenever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few. What I interpreted was that we shouldn't try so hard to get what we want, because sometimes the things you want are right in front of you. You see, when you need emotional support, you shouldn't go so far to find it, because those emotional support are right in front of you. They are your parents, your siblings, or the people close to you. And they'll always be available for you. You see, when Baloo needs to find food, he doesn't go hunting for it because he already knows that the bees are making honey, which is available for him. And when he talks about and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few. Phil Harris is saying that when there are opportunities to try out new things, you should try it out. And if you like it, then continue trying it. But if you don't, then just don't do it. Live simply like Baloo. So the repeated lyrics in stanzas 3, 4, 6, 9, and 10. The bare necessities of life will come to you. They will come to you. These are just repeated main phrases saying that you should keep life simple and go with the flow. So stanza 5. When you pick a pawpaw or a prickly pear and you pick a raw paw, well, next time beware. Don't pick the prickly pear with the paw. When you pick a pear, try using the claw, but you don't need to use the claw. When you pick a pear of the big paw, have I given you a clue? Well, Phil Harris is saying that if you meet challenges in life, then find a simpler way to tackle that problem and learn from your mistake. You see, when Baloo made a mistake of picking a prickly paw with his paw first, he learned from this mistake and used his claw. For example, when I was met with the challenge of kicking a ball during my soccer practice when I first started, I had difficulties. So when the coach taught us how to kick, I found a simpler way to how to kick a ball. First, I tried focusing all my power into my legs, and then when the coach told us to use the different parts of our legs, different part of our foot instead of our toes, I tried that, and this result did, in fact, help me get a better kick and did make the ball go faster and farther. So in life, you should always find a simpler ways to solve a problem. Stanza 7. Oh man, this is really living, so just try and relax. Yeah, cool it. Fall apart in my backyard. Cause let me tell you something, little bitches. If you act like that bee acts, you're working too hard. Like a busy bee, you should never work too hard because you can never find happiness in life. You see, working hard is great, but you should sometimes take breaks and enjoy life more. Like, for example, after work, you may be tired, but then you should try working out or meditating once in a while because it may calm you down and motivate you to enjoy other activities. You see, the reason why Baloo is so happy is that he doesn't overwork himself and instead sticks to a simpler life. You may see him as a selfish and lazy person, but then he is considered the happiest person in life because he lives so simply and he doesn't overwork himself. Stanza 8. Don't spend your time looking around for something you want that can't be found. When you found out that you can live without it and not go along about it, I'll tell you something true. The bare necessities of life will come to you. I interpreted that Phil Harris is saying to set a reasonable goal in life because the phrase "for something you want that can't be found" is the general goal you have in life. For example, if your general goal in life is to become a billionaire, it is too general and it can't be achieved by simply saying that that's your goal. Because becoming a millionaire takes steps. So to solve this issue, you should find simpler goals and reasonable goals to achieve that general goal. Like first, you should be studying for your exam first. Because if you study for that exam and ace it, then the bare necessities, in this case, which are the natural rewards you will receive, will come and find you and reward you for studying for that test, which helps you get closer to that general goal you have in life. Because acing that exam will impress your graduate school, and then they'll accept you into their medical school or whatever school you want, and help you out in that goal of becoming a billionaire. Because it gives you a job. So, conclusion: bare necessity basically means to keep life simple and sweet. Don't complicate your life because all you really need sometimes are your necessities. I chose this song because I too make my life complicated than I really should be. So it really stuck out to me because it made me realize that I should try to make things simpler in life for me, because if I overstress myself, it doesn't really help me. And another thing I want to say is that we can all learn sometimes from this song, because it is better to go with the flow and keep life simple. That concludes my textual presentation. Thank you.